Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to take it off the loom, okay? The main thing before you even think about measuring is making sure that this is pushed down. Your strings are pushed down so everything's nice and tight in here, okay? And then when you do this, you also want to make sure you're at least 2 inches high after you've pushed everything down. I'm probably about, I'd say 3.5 inches possibly. You can be higher, just make sure you're a couple inches from the top so you have plenty of room to cut. Okay, so I'm all finished with mine. What I'm gonna do before I do any trimming, I'm gonna take this last piece and I'm gonna tie it around this warp string. So I'm gonna go under the black, and you see this little loop we have, and just go through that loop. Just a basic knot. And I always make sure I pull it nice and tight. You could double knot it if you want to, never hurts. So that's just going around and basically through that little hole again. Okay, now I'm gonna trim that. Remember to cut not on the knot, but just to the left and the right of the knot. Trim any little pieces that you have. And this time, obviously, you can trim the higher ones. That's fine. Okay. So once you have that trimmed, we're going to cut the warp strings. Now, this is important, okay? If you are nervous at all, you don't feel comfortable, don't cut it. Just save it for me when I get back, okay? But if you are anxious to take this home and finish it, you may start. Now, the key is when you cut it, you want to cut as far away from this as you can. So notice I'm cutting all the way at the top, okay? And then I've got these little strings. I just do one side at a time. And then what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take every 2 strings and knot them together. So I'm gonna cross it over like I tie a shoelace, pull it, and do that a second time. So just a knot for every 2 strings. Now, sometimes when people do this, they have 3 at the end. So I'll show you how to do that if I have mine, and mine will be, I'll have an extra one, so I'll show you how I do that. So I'm just setting them kind of off to the side, just tying it. This is gonna lock it together. And see how I have 3? There's 2 ways to do it. One, you could take these 2 and then tie that there, or you could do what I'm gonna do right now, do a double knot, and then the string closest to this one, I'm gonna double knot that. Okay, I've got one side done. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Cut really close to the top here, far away from your weaving, so you have plenty of strings to tie. And then I do the same thing, crisscross, go through the loop like I'm tying a shoelace, do it 2 times. Pull it tight. Do it all the way across to the other end. And if you're having trouble knotting, if you just carefully set your project in the white bin, even like this, I'll be able to fix it too. So don't worry. It's not gonna fall apart on you. And this one I have 2. I'm gonna go through here. Okay, so I've got it all knotted. Now it's a matter of taking it or sliding it off this loom. So I kind of pull on one side, then the other side. Okay, until you get to the bottom. You may need to use a little strength to kind of pull it off. And then I kind of flip it inside out. Okay, that's still connected through these bottom notches, so I'm just gonna carefully pull each one out like this. Okay, took a little bit of those little old pieces with me, so I'm gonna take those off. And this is the first string I started with. So this little one, I don't want to leave it dangling. So I'm going to find an area to knot it. So I'm just going to take it, going to go around the blue and pull it and do that twice. If you feel like you need to do a 3rd time, do it a 3rd time, okay? And then cut close to that. So now I can kind of spread everything out. These long pieces here, you can leave them long. If you want to trim them, you can trim them. Just remember, don't cut too close to the hole. And I've got a little pouch. Now, I can be done with it just like this. So if you want to, you can just take it home like this. You've got your little pouch. If you want to trim these a little shorter, you can totally just trim them to whatever length you like. Just make sure you're careful not to cut right on the knot, okay? Now, some of you had asked me, what about this side piece right here? Okay, so where it was wrapping around the edge, you can just leave it like that, okay? If you want to, it's still gonna work. But if you wanna make like a little handle or something like that, you're gonna pre-cut string. So these are roughly about 1 arm's length. So I did 3, so I'm gonna do 3 and then braid it. So what I do with this, whoops, I get the ends. The ends I kind of wrap around my finger as 1. And remember, this part is optional. You can stop it if you're not interested. Okay, I've got a knot there. Then I'm gonna take one of the strings, go through the eye of the needle. You can knot it like we've been doing. And then you kind of hold it sideways. Now with this, you don't have to do every one. So I'm gonna go under, like one little color over a color. Some of the big sections like the blue, I'm just gonna kind of chunk those together. The other ones, I'm just gonna go one color over at a time. Okay, all the way up to the top. Once you have it through, you can unknot it. Pull it through until we get to that little knot there, or close to that knot. Set that aside. You can grab a second string, fold it, go through the eye of the needle. This one we're gonna weave basically just the opposite. So I kind of hold it. Okay, kind of have to look. What did I do? I went under, so I'm gonna go over and roughly kind of keeping it in the same location. This may not be exact, that's fine. This is just for a little handle if you want. All the way up. See, went under the red, over. And if you want to take the string home, if you finished it and finish this at home, that's fine. You just have to leave the needle at school for another class. Okay, and do the same thing before, kind of pull it through. I've got 2 through, I've got 1 more to go. And just do the opposite weave again. Under, over. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. I just went up the wrong little area, and that's fine. It gets a little tougher as you go. That's why I suggest 3, because 3 is a lot easier. Okay, get this one. Oh goodness, it doesn't want me to come through. There we go. And knot my needle. I'm going to pull these all through. See how that is? You can see the little end here. See how it went through? Then I have this string. So what I can do, if you want to leave it like that, you can. If you want to like braid it, you can totally braid it. You can do anything you want, okay? So I can braid it if I want. All the way through. Let's pretend that that's done. Then let's say that's braided. Then I'm gonna take this other end, do the same thing like I started off, over, under, do the second one, the third one, pull it, and then knot it on the end just like this, and you have a little handle. So that is optional, okay? You do not have to do the handle. If you don't like it, you can easily just pull it out, okay? So that's your little pouch. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any problems, like I've already said, just keep it in the bin and I will help you when I get back.